by Kim Hawley and Michelle Zlotnick. They are from the Sugar Shack. They're also representing a Norman Rockwell exhibition. Kim, thanks for
Yes.
coming on.
Thank you.
I'm a maple syrup junkie. How long have you had the Sugar Shack, and tell us about it?
We've actually only owned the Sugar Shack since 2012. My husband's been making maple syrup for over 40 years with his brother Rick Hawley. My husband's Edward Hawley. Previously, the Sugar Shack was owned 27 years by.
Okay. So it's kind of an institution around here.
Yeah.
Now, tell us the whole. It's a complex process to go from tapping the tree to the sugar to the syrup that you're holding there. Could you explain the process to us a little bit?
Sure. The guys will tap the trees normally January, February-ish to be ready for the first run of which. It's normally like the end of February, early March. The sap actually runs. And then they have to gather the sap and bring it to our facility, our sugar house. And from there, we're making this stuff.
It's boiled down.
Oh, yes.
And that's all done on site?
It comes in 2% sugar, and when we're done, when it leaves the evaporator, it's 67% sugar.
Wow.
You can house and watch them boiled during the season.
That's what I was going to. So you can go in and watch the process at the Sugar Shack?
Take hot samples. If you want.
Awesome. Now, what maple-based products do you offer at the Sugar Shack?
Well, we have all 4 grades of our maple syrup in a variety of jugs. We do maple glazed donuts that we're going to have tomorrow morning, which are phenomenal.
They're so good.
As well as our cider donuts. Maple glazed sugar cookies. What else? Maple candies. Maple horseradish mustards.
I'm going into, by the way, a sugar just meltdown. Just love this stuff. I have to just, because I just love maple. And anything maple, I am good with.
Me too.
What are the different grades? You mentioned the 4 different grades of maple syrup.
Yes.
What are the 4 grades so I know better what I'm buying?
Okay, so there's the grade A delicate, which is very light, very delicate maple taste. There's an amber rich, which is probably the most popular one for maple syrup. I'm sorry, for pancakes.
If you went to a diner, you'd probably be served the rich.
Okay.
Yep.
Dark robust, which is my absolute favorite. It's got a great pronounced maple taste, darker in color, but you can use it in cooking. It's great on the table for pancakes and waffles. And then there's a very dark, very strong taste, which some people consider cooking syrup, but it's also table grade if you like the really dark, strong taste. And they're all 4 table grade syrups that can be used for the table, but cooking as well.
As they get darker in grade, are they more viscous, more concentrated, or?
It's all 67% sugar when it's done, so it has the same exact sugar content. And a lot of people think that we cook it longer, we do something different in the season, but it's not the case. It's how Mother Nature makes this.
Oh, okay. So it's the different trees will give you.
It's the different time of year, I guess you could say, of
It's
the boiling.
seasonal.
Early on in the season when we first start boiling, it's almost always lighter, on the lighter end. The trees bust, season will bust. The trees bust, flowers the sap.
Oh.
But that's when the dark is made.
Now,
Towards the end of the 6 weeks.
Okay. How many gallons of sap does it take to make a gallon of syrup?
Between 40 and 45 gallons.
Wow. So you really are boiling it down. You really are reducing it.
Exactly.
Process the tree to the boil. It's just something that's been it's so historic and been done for so long the same way. But the work that's involved to get
It's a lot of work.
well, just a little bit of syrup, which I really can't live without, but that's neither here nor there. Now, you've also got a Norman Rockwell exhibition.
We do,
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Norman Rockwell lived in Arlington, Vermont from 1939 to 1953. He painted 200 local folks from the town. We still have a few of them that come in on a regular basis to sign prints for us and talk about what their time was like for Norman Rockwell. The Marble Shooter, 1939, Ruth Skelly. Don Fisher, the 1954 post cover Breaking Home Ties. He comes in quite a bit. They're in their 80s now, but phenomenal people.
That has to be fascinating to have these people that you saw depicted. Covers, those old covers and Rockwell paintings. That's America. A, a moment captured of America.
It's a
And
happy time.
it really is, and it seems to be a little more alive here up in Vermont.
I think so.
We're up here from Connecticut, right outside of New York, not that far removed. It's a little fast. It's a little busy. And
Yes.
yeah, as you get further north in Connecticut, there are the places that Rockwell touched, the places in the Berkshires and whatnot. But it seems like here there's a little bit more of that whole Norman Rockwell feeling
Exactly.
still around. Do you find that
Yes.
living up here?
That's what a lot of our customers come in daily and say, that they're from Connecticut or Delaware, and they come in and just fascinated with that. He lived about 7 miles from where our facility is, so we lead them down to where Rockwell's house is and his studio, and it's on.
A better through. They'll watch the. We have about a documentary. A beautiful exhibit, and a lot of people are really glad that we have it and are able to enjoy it.
For free. It's just
For
a
free.
cool.
place to come in and then go to the house after. It's nice.
Interest in Rockwell, I don't think has waned.
So it is timeless. I think that's a good way to put it. Definitely.
What is in the exhibition? Do you have
We have 200 of his printed works. We don't
Okay.
have any originals, but we have 200 printed works. We have the 15-minute film, the documentary on his life in Arlington. We have a gift shop full of prints and books,
Mugs.
magnets, a lot of items that people love.
And where is the Sugar Shack?
The Sugar Shack's on 29 Sugar Shack Lane off of historic Route 7A in Arlington, Vermont.
Thank you so much for coming by, and
Thank
hopefully
you.
I can get over there, because I really do. There's two things that I think are quintessentially this area of New England, and both things that I love. Syrup, one of them, Norman Rockwell, the other. Kim Hawley,
got it.
Michelle
Thank you
Zlotnick
very
of the
much.
Sugar Shack. Thank you so much for joining us on your coffee break on HANradio.com, streaming live on the HAN network.